Okay, so welcome to the Monday evening yoga class. I do have a plan tonight. Our plan is to do a Vata reducing practice. We're going to do it a little bit different, and that we're going to be holding poses for a little bit longer than we normally do. And so it's kind of like an Iyengar type of practice. And if you haven't done Iyengar, they go into the pose, they hold them for minutes. We won't be holding for minutes, but close. And what that does is it helps bring stillness into the body, which reduces Vata. So we're doing Vata because we are in the cooler temperatures. People are starting to get worn out. Thanksgiving is coming. We're in Thanksgiving week now. And a lot of people are kind of rushing and running out of time. And so we want to stay as grounded and calm as we can, stay centered. The other thing that I want to cultivate tonight is the witness. And the reason why the witness is beneficial is because when we can become the witness, we not only are witnessing our own thoughts, our own emotions, whatever it is that comes to the surface within ourselves, but we can also be the witness for others. So we can allow other people to be where they're at and give people the space to be exactly who they are. We don't need them to change or show up any different than who they are. And by doing that, it's such a gift, because when we give people that space, then we release our own expectations on those people and on a situation and on an event like Thanksgiving, where you have people that come together, all different kinds of people, and families sometimes can trigger things, right? Not my family. I'm lucky. I have a really nice family. So anyway, let's get started with that. So we're working tonight on building the witness and also calming down Vata in the body. So this is a Vata pacifying practice. If you have high Vata, I want to clarify that, because I had a person come in a couple weeks ago who is high Vata, and they thought that they needed a kapha practice. And I said, no, you need kapha practice is going to be more stimulating. That's going to aggravate Vata. So if you have high Vata, you need a Vata practice, a practice that calms Vata. That's what a Vata practice is. It's going to bring Vata back into balance. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start out today opening up on our mat and turning your toes out. Good. Opening up your arms and reaching up. Good. And then from there, we're just going to drop to one side. Drop to one side. And then come up. Bring the arms up and then drop to the other side. So we'll do a little bit of movement side to side. Come up, reach. And now turn and go warrior two. Up. Reach. And then turn and go warrior two. Reach. Go back into Trikonasana. So you're going to drop into Trikonasana and come up. Drop into Trikonasana and come up. And then warrior two and reach. And warrior two and reach. Okay, so a little bit of an add-on. We're going to go warrior two and then drop into Parshvottanasana. Swing the arm around, and then you're going to step back. So the leg that's in front now steps back. And then from plank, you can modify to the knees and lower. Lift up Bhujanasana. Press back. All right, so the same leg that stepped back now steps forward. Drop your back heel and then come up into warrior one. Good. Release forward. Inhale up. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2, so warrior 2. Good, then drop into Parshvottanasana. And then the upper arm swings around. That front leg then steps back into plank. You can modify to the knees if you need to, otherwise lower. Lift. Take it back, down dog. Good. Then the leg that stepped back now steps forward. You're in a lunge. Drop your back heel and come up into warrior one. Reach. Good, then turning and facing forward, drop down, inhale up. Trikonasana now, Trikonasana. Drop the arm forward, reach, go to the other side. Trikonasana. And then reach. Virabhadrasana 2. Good. From Warrior 2, drop into Parshvottanasana. See if you can drop the hand to the ground. Then swing the arm around, step back into plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Lower. Lift. Back, down dog. Same leg that stepped back, now steps forward. Drop your back heel, come up, Virabhadrasana 1. Turn and face forward, drop down, inhale up. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Going into Parshvottanasana. Good, see if you can drop a little lower. Swing the arm around, step back into plank, lower, lift, and then back down dog. That same leg that stepped back now steps forward. Good, drop your back heel and come up, Virabhadrasana 1. And then reach back up. So we're going to interlace our fingers behind us now, just like that. Turn your toes in and drop forward. Lift the arms up off the back. Lift the arms up off the back. Good. Good, and then from there, slowly lifting up. Slowly lifting up, inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Turn to the right. Exhale, drop into Trikonasana and we hold. Now you might want to block. So you can use a block. And while we are holding these poses, we want to then come into the witness. So what is the witness? It's our ability to observe. Observe our own bodies, the mind, any emotions that might come to the surface, and you observe. Notice the different thought patterns that come to the surface. And so when we hold these poses, we have more of an opportunity to allow an unwinding process within the body and in the mind. Then from there, slowly come up. Now, if you're using a block, I want you to take it with you. Use the block, rotate to the other side, and now you take that block and then drop right down into Trikonasana on the other side. Same thing. So you get into the pose, we're trying to reduce any kind of micro adjusting. So get into the pose and hold it. Drawing your navel in, tailbone neutral. Keeping that torso lined up with the front leg. Good, and then from there, we reach up. Good, and then we turn the toes out and bring the hands into a prayer. Thumbs connecting to the heart, and we drop low into a squat. So dropping low into a squat. Now, at the same time, the navel draws in and lifts up. Tailbone points down. Navel draws in, lifts up. Tailbone points down. Good, awesome. Then opening up the arms, and now you turn to the right. So Virabhadrasana 2. Now in this position, you do want to watch your upper body. Sometimes there's a tendency to lean forward. You actually want to keep the torso right on top of the pelvis. So keep it there. So keep it there. So you're in Virabhadrasana and you're holding. See if you can drop a little lower, go deep. Notice what happens to the body. So again, we're the witness. So a couple of you guys need to lift up a little bit more, give a little bit more energy to the back hand. Good, and then we're gonna reach, lift. We're gonna do one at a time and then go to the other side. Virabhadrasana 2. Keep that torso right on top. Stabilize. Drop the shoulders, relax them. Looking down the middle finger. So bent knee, go a little deeper. Look down that same hand. Keeping it there. Watch the knee in the front. There is a tendency for the knee to drop in. It's dropping in. If it's doing that, you have to keep opening up. See if you can go a little bit lower. Drop. Deeper. Tailbone down into neutral. Belly's in. Good. Reach. Awesome. So we're adding in a pose here. You're going to take your hands behind you. So you're either going to go fists together right here at the sacrum or fingertips together. Okay. Or you start moving the hands up the back. All right. Move them up the back. So we're doing a wide-legged. We're going to actually do this a couple of different times. Roll your shoulders back, press your elbows back, navel in, and then drop forward. Being the witness in the pose. And then slowly coming up. You want to engage your feet. Lift up, releasing your arms. Release them out. Good. We go back. Turning again now to the right. But now we go into Parsvakonasana and you're going to hold. So you're either holding in this modified position or you can use a block. Excuse me. The block goes on the baby toe side of the foot. Your upper arm reaches alongside the ear. Palms down, thumb is reaching back behind you. And if you want to go deeper, you could drop down. So you can bring the hand to the inside as well. So engage your feet, spread your toes. Really bring all awareness into your body, into what you're experiencing, into the breath. Notice thought. And then that arm reaches up when we go to the other side. Turn, take the block with you if you need to. Otherwise, dropping into Parsvakonasana. You drop down, reach. That arm goes alongside the ear. And if you want to go deeper, you can drop to the inside or use a block. Stay strong in your legs. Super strong. So palm is down, thumb is reaching back behind you. Keep drawing your navel in. Stay strong, stay strong. And then reach up, lift. Okay, so we're going to take our hands behind us again. You're either going to go fists, fingertips, or see if you can reach the hands up to the heart. No matter what position you choose, you got to roll those shoulders back and elbows press back as well. We're going to turn to the right. Okay, so turn to the right and you want to square your hips. Okay, so the back hip moves forward. If you need to, take your back leg and move it out a little bit because you want to be squaring your hip. Now, draw the navel in, hinge from the hips. The mic is in the way again. Hinge from the hips, drop forward, completely relax your head. Relax your head. Keep moving the elbows back behind you. And then lifting up. Good. And now we rotate forward and we go to the other side. So same thing. You want to bring the back leg out a little bit. Keep your hands right where they are. Draw the navel in and hinge forward. Make sure your hips are square. Relax your head. And remember, this is a Vata reducing practice. So we are reducing high Vata. That's the goal. How do we do that? Well, we hold the poses. We create stability. We want to have stillness. We want to use postures that are going to move the subtle forces down. What are the subtle forces called? They're called the vayus. So we want to encourage more apana, so forces that move downward. And that's going to help us to feel more grounded and calm. Good, and then we lift up and release. So turn forward, releasing your arms. Shake them out a little bit. I know they can get kind of intense, those poses. It's really good though, because it helps open up the wrist. If you have carpal tunnel, tendonitis, it helps with that. Good, we're gonna do a little something with the wrist. You're gonna connect your wrists. Can you guys see that? It's like a wing, like that kind of a thing. Good, you press and then move around, go to the other side. And just keep doing that back and forth. Good. Couple more. Awesome. Last one. Good. And then release. Up, open up. Good. All right. So then we are going to open up again. Inhale. Exhale, turning, warrior two, drop into Parshvanasana. And then we're swinging the arm around to step back into plank. So stepping back into plank and then lowering. Lift up Utkatasana and then press back. And we're going to hold Adho Mukha Shavasana, down dog. So the navel gets drawn in, get hollow in your belly, open up your armpits. Middle finger points straight ahead, and we're holding that pose. Good, that looks great. Good, and then the same leg that stepped back comes up and steps forward. Good, we drop the back heel, and now we come up into Virabhadrasana 1. So reach, Virabhadrasana. Open up, draw the navel in, So remember in warrior one, hips face the same direction. Warrior two, you have open hips. Warrior one, your hips face the same direction. So it's more closed. Reach, bend the knee. Good, then we're interlacing our fingers behind us and dropping forward. You're either gonna rest the torso on the thigh or go to the inside and lift. Keep lifting. And then releasing from there, come back up. Reach Virabhadrasana 1. And then turning, facing forward, release. Good. Inhale up. Going into warrior two to the left. And then you drop right into Parsvottanasana. Then swing the arm around and step back into plank and lower. Lift Bhujanasana. Take it back, Adho Mukha Savasana. And we hold. We're holding. Few breaths. Even out your breath. Notice what's happening in your body. Again, cultivating that witness, cultivating the witness. Being able to observe yourself, the mind, the body, the behavior, your emotions, thought. Good, and then the same leg that stepped back now steps forward. And we go up into Virabhadrasana 1. So reach. Bend the front knee. Remember to take that back hip, bring it forward. So the extended leg, the hip comes forward. You're squaring the hips. Tailbone is down, pointing straight down. Navel goes in and up. And then interlacing your fingers behind you, dropping forward. You're either resting on the torso, going to the inside. And then from there, releasing and coming back up into Virabhadrasana 1, reach. And release, good. Inhale up. All right, 2 fingers. We're gonna stay wide with the legs, but turn your toes in and you take 2 fingers on each hand, pointer finger, middle finger, come together, drop down. They're gonna go between the big toe and the second toe, wrap around the big toe and connect to your thumb, and then drop down. Slow down the breath, keep it an even breath, be the witness. Good. All right, and then from there, we slowly come up. So you can bring your hands to your waist, press into your feet and lift. Good, and bring your feet together. Okay, so we're gonna do a couple of balancing postures. We're gonna actually start out with eagle pose. So I want you to take your weight into the right leg. So your right leg is your standing leg. The left leg comes up and goes over. Okay, left leg comes up, goes over. So you have a few options here with this posture. You can keep your foot on the ground, or you can pick it up and take it to the side of the leg, or you can wrap the toes around your calf. Okay, All right. So standing leg is right leg, left leg goes over. Open up your arms, and now you're going to drop that right arm under, rotate, elbows forward, lift, and sit, sit. So then what you do is, if you still have balance, you can bring your foot to the side if you want. Now go forward into a forward fold. So you're either doing this with the foot on the ground, keeping the foot up, or wrapping the foot around the calf. And then slowly lifting up and release. Good. Roll back through your shoulders. Loosen it up. Okay, standing leg now is your left leg. Same thing. Bend the knee a little bit on the standing leg. The other leg goes over. You're going to either rest the foot on the floor, or it goes up to the side or wraps around. And now your left arm goes under, elbows forward, reach, sit deep. Sit deep. And then hinging at the hips, go forward into a forward fold. Even out your breath. You can release your foot and put it on the ground if you need to, that's fine. And then slowly come up and release. Awesome. Okay, shake out those legs. We have one more standing posture. We're going to tree pose. Standing leg again, right leg. Variation 1, you keep your toes on the ground. Variation 2 comes up to the calf. Variation 3, you're going to press that foot into the inner thigh. Okay, you can stay here or reach your arms up. Eyes go off into the horizon, staring at a single point, which is called a dristi. Good, then the hands go to the waist. We're going to release that leg and take it back behind us and drop right into Virabhadrasana 3. So it goes back and you go into Virabhadrasana 3. You can reach your arms forward if you would like. And then we lower, come up into Warrior 1, and then stepping forward, releasing your arms. Good, and now we switch to the other leg. Standing leg is now your left leg, toes are on the ground, Virkasana, hands at the heart. Variation 1, variation 2 to the calf, variation 3, pressing your foot to the inner thigh, draw the navel in. Eyes go off into the horizon, staring at a single point, and then reach up. So do your best with these balancing postures, modify if you need to. These are very grounding postures. They bring us into the moment. Then the hands go to the waist. You release that leg and it goes right back behind you. Virabhadrasana 3, you can reach your arms. So you go right back and you can reach. Then lowering into Warrior 1, reach up, then stepping forward and release. Good. So you step your back leg in. Inhale up. Exhale, we're going to go into a forward fold, feet are together. The palm of the hand goes right underneath both of your feet. Your toes go to the line of your wrist. Okay, so this is where it goes, like that. And you press your toes down into the hand, and then you start to straighten your legs. Good, relax your head, you guys. Okay. Relax your head, press your toes into the hands. Press, 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 press. Straighten your legs, straighten, straighten, straighten. And then slowly, slowly coming out of that. Good. Bend those knees and come up into Utkatasana. Reach. Good. Hold it there. Draw the navel in. Slow down the breath. Holding that pose. So even in a hard pose like this, the stillness pacifies the Vata. It also builds strength, which is helpful for Vata. Vata needs the strength. Vata tends to be fragile. And then release. Good. Awesome. Inhale up. So I'm going to come to the top of the mat. So you might want to come to the top of your mat. Inhale, reach. Exhale down. And step back into down dog. Shifting forward into plank and lower. Lift. And take child's pose. So big toes together, open up the knees, release. Big toes together, open up the knees, and relax your arms, you guys. Okay, and then coming back into down dog. We're going to step the right leg forward and drop the back knee and release there. Just hold. If you feel like you have a little more flexibility, you can drop to the inside and rest on the elbows, either using a block or going to the floor. Relax your head. Good, and then from there, I want to just come up out of it a little bit. We're going to shift back, curl the toes under and release. And drop into a fold. So you are holding yourself. Now you can have one hand on the ground if you need to. I'm sitting back on my foot. That strengthens the foot. If that's too much, you can take your block and just place it underneath you. Give yourself a little support there. And then we go forward, and I want to do pigeon just because it is calming for Vata. So you walk that foot right over to the left edge of the mat and drop down. Drop down. See if you can take the extended leg a little further back. And then lower the upper body. All right, relax. We're letting that body soften. Now, if you're noticing this is just really difficult for you, then I would take a bolster or a blanket, place it underneath your right glutes, and give yourself a little support. No problem. Good. And then from there, release out of that. We're going to step back into down dog. If you want to take Chaturanga Dandasana, go for it. So you shift into plank, go from plank, lower, lift up into cobra, and then push back into down dog. And then picking up the left leg, you're going to step forward for a lunge, drop the back knee. So same thing, we're going to hold this. You can use a block. If you have a little more flexibility, you could drop down onto the elbows with a block or onto the floor. Do what's right for you. This is your practice. I am just your guide. Good, and then we are shifting back. So you want to curl your toes under behind you, shift back. You're sitting on the foot, or you can take a bolster underneath you or a block and reach. Both hands can reach, or you can have one hand on the ground. No problem. All right, and then we go forward again. So again, we're going into pigeon. You take that left foot and walk it over to the right edge of your mat. And again, if you need a blanket for a little support, throw it underneath the left glutes, or you could use a block or a bolster. Blanket's a little easier because you can kind of modify it. You can roll it up bigger or less. Good. All right, keeping that extended leg back behind you and then lower. And we're holding. We're still cultivating the witness. You're still watching the body, noticing breath. You're just holding space for yourself. Allowing, just allowing. Good, and then from there, we're gonna lift up, and I wanna finish class today with stretching. So lift and rotate to the right. Use your blanket as a little lift. And extend both legs, so we'll go wide. I'm gonna rotate. And with the blanket behind you, you wanna come to the very edge of the blanket. Come to the very edge. Boop, boop. Good. Hands are gonna go behind you and lift your chest up, draw your navel in. Push your shoulder blades together, squeeze them together. And then reach and go to the right side. Let that elbow relax. And then go to the other side. We're going to do 2 sets here. Okay, good. Now this time, we're going to take this upper arm and it's going to drop down right to the center of the body. And as you move to the right side, it slides to the left. And then lifting up and you switch. And so now that upper arm slides to the right. And you move to the left. And then releasing, coming up. Good. We are going to go down to the center, so dropping down. You can use a block, of course, or just lowering onto the elbows. Relax your head. Make sure that that pelvis is tilting forward. So in other words, the tailbone is tilting up. The front of the body, the pubic bone tilts down. If you're not able to do that and you're noticing that your low back is rounding, you just need to get up a little higher, either with a blanket or maybe even a cushion, like a meditation cushion. Good, and then we are going to bring the legs in, shake them out a little bit. All right, so bring the legs in. You're going to want to bring your left leg in first. And then your right leg goes over. So we're going to do rotation. Make sure both sit bones are down. Sit up tall and then rotate. All right, and then facing forward, I just want you to take that right leg and pull it back behind you. So we're going to push it so that both knees come together. So you're stacking your knees and then drop forward. Just help open up the hip a little bit, drop your head. All right, lifting up, and then we rotate to the right. Again, one more time. All right, and then release. So shake it out, shake those legs out. And now we pull the right heel in and the left leg goes over. Okay, sit up tall. That right heel is going to go to the outside of the left hip. Sit up tall and then rotate. Look all the way behind you. All right, awesome. And then we come out of that, same thing. So I just want you to release that upper leg and then push the knees towards each other. Push them. It's a variation of double pigeon. All right. And then we go forward. Breathe into your hips. Breathe into your hips. And then lifting up and then rotating to the left and twist. Good, and then slowly, slowly releasing out of that. Again, shaking out those legs. Inhale up. Then exhale, dropping into a forward fold. Relax your head. Okay, and then from there, you're going to take it onto your back. Release out of, and then go onto your back, find your heels, push up into bridge, just counter posturing that forward fold. And releasing out of that, arms opening up, taking your legs to the right, holding that, looking to the left. And then legs go up to the left and looking to the right. Good. Holding that. And coming out of that, drawing your knees in. So if you are not able to go into shoulder stand, you're just going to take a block or a blanket and roll it right underneath your pelvis so the pelvis gets up higher, and then you hold that. Or you go into either supported shoulder stand. The legs are going to move so that the toes are right above your eyes, not beyond the head, right above the eyes. Or you go into shoulder stand. So you stack ankles over knees, knees over hips, hips over shoulders. And then from there, we slowly come out of that, push up again into bridge. And then releasing out of that. And now we set up for Shavasana. Okay. So we're going to do a nice long Shavasana tonight. With an evening practice, you always want to have a longer Shavasana. That also helps reduce Vata. Okay, so if you're having a Vata imbalance, how do you know? Well, typically people who have a Vata imbalance, they will be experiencing lots of worrying, anxiety. They don't sleep well at night. They're scattered. There's a lot of ways it shows up. They're having fearful thoughts, fearful dreams, nightmares. That's another thing that starts happening. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're supporting yourself with, if you're doing yoga, make sure that the yoga practice that you're doing is supporting your life, right? Okay, good. So Shavasana, get some support underneath the knees for the low back. Make sure you are warm. So cover yourself up, and definitely covering your eyes. The eyes are connected to the fire element. It's the most overstimulated sense we have. We are all overstimulated. Okay, so you want to calm down our senses. That's why I don't play music, because I'm trying to help pacify the body by calming everything down. No stimulation. And then rest. Arms are at your side, palms up in a receiving position, and rest. Let the breath settle. And again, we move into stillness. Feel grounding taking place with that body merging with the floor. A slowing down of the breath. Eventually, the mind follows. Maybe even noticing that the spaces between the breath become a little longer. Noticing emptiness there, expansiveness. to deepen your breath. Allow some movement into your fingers and toes and gently roll to your right side. Pause there for a moment. We want to take a minute on the right side, rest. And then slowly bringing yourself up into a comfortable seated position. And once you are seated, bring your hands together, connect your thumbs to your heart, close your eyes. And again, we come back into that stillness with the body. So sitting up straight, but then relaxing, softening the body, and move into stillness. We want to anchor that in. We definitely want to calm down Vata in the body before we go to bed. So you really want to reduce stimulation, create ambient light, an ambient environment. So lowering the lights, eliminating as much stimulation in the evening as possible. Trying to make sure that if you eat in the evening that you're eating earlier. Because if you eat late, that is harder on digestion. Your body will be digesting in the middle of the night, so you won't sleep as well. Good, and then may you sleep peacefully tonight and awaken in the morning feeling refreshed. Namaste. Good job, you guys.